Women of Reddit. What are things men do that scares you but they don't realize? Wanting to go to a secluded location if I don't know you well. People on Tinder would suggest going on hikes or taking a walk after dinner on first dates. Didn't even cross their minds that I would not want to be alone with them on a date. Or even dinner at my place. Makes me nervous. I don't know what you have planned. Who you live with. ECT. I'm never trying to be rude but I don't know them the date and enjoying living. Reminds me of this tweet. I met this dude on Tinder and asked what his last name was. He told me. Then replied, you doing a little background check? You might find out I'm a murderer. Just ignore that. Okay, so a good sense of humor. Well, I googled him and he was a murderer. Reminds me of the song from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that's literally called Please Don't Be a Murderer. Sex with a Stranger from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Great show and the music videos are all on Rachel Bloom's YouTube channel. _cut. Getting really intense about our relationship/friendship really early on. A lot of guys turn women into this kind of fantasy thing that's supposed to make them whole/help them change or whatever. Sir, I am the main character in my own life. Not just a supporting one in yours. When you put that pressure on me right away, ABS without reciprocation. I know that I don't actually matter. You've been taught that women serve you. Touching you in any way without permission. Even if it seems harmless to you. Unfortunately, that happens rather often in retail. Don't touch my shoulder when you talk to me. Don't stroke my hair. Don't caress my hand when you give me your money. Don't touch my ass or my boobs or anything at all. Please respect my personal space. It freaks me out when male strangers come near me and touch me in any way. It gets extra creepy when they start to compliment me and won't stop trying to befriend me. Your compliment in those situations doesn't make me happy. They scare me. I need to leave my work later and I am scared that you will wait for me outside and catch me. I quit my last job because I had a manager in his 40s to 50s doing that. There was another girl who quit because of him but never reported him. I called HR on his ass and they didn't do anything because they didn't have enough evidence. And I told them about the other girl and they told me if she called and reported him that would have been enough evidence to investigate. Beeping BS. Why do they need evidence to investigate? I get that they're not gonna fire him or something from a complaint from coworker. But they should at least investigate. English isn't my first language so I can't really generalize this, but asking if I need a ride and keep pestering me when I decline. I used to walk home from school when this old man literally parked his car in front of me while I was crossing a small parking lot and asked if I needed a ride. I lied and said the house at the end of the block was my house. He did it a bunch more times until I had to change my walking route. It was a longer way but I felt safe again. Joking about mugging or assaulting us. I was on the subway, returning home, and a group of tall guys were watching me play my Switch. One of them decided to swagger right up behind me, so that he was breathing over my shoulder, while his friends joked about let's mug and assault her for that Switch. I'm less than 120 pounds. It wouldn't take much to force me against a wall and I couldn't escape. I could easily be mugged, beaten, raped. I was surrounded by people, thankfully, but having one of them in my personal space, while his buds laughed about assaulting me, had me terrorized the entire commute home. They got off at the same station I did, so I used a completely different exit and took a detour to shrug them off. I didn't want them knowing which direction I normally used. More annoying than scary. But telling women to smile. The kind of guys who insist on telling random women to smile would never dare tell a random guy that. Because it has nothing to do with how the person appears to feel and everything to do with forcing an interaction with someone they are interested in. It's so flipping weird. I had a man at the gym who interrupted my workout. Motioned for me up, take off my headphones. And when I did, he told me to smile. What the ever-loving fpeep? Who smiles while they work out? Years ago, I had been in the hospital visiting my grandmother who was there for cancer treatment. When I got in the elevator to leave, a random dude entered as well and gave the smile command. We were in a hospital. Nobody with the exception of new mothers is in a hospital for good times. And even if we had been at a carnival, being ordered to display emotions one isn't feeling by a total stranger is just so creepy. Thinking no isn't the final answer. Believing that with a little more convincing and I'll say yes. It makes me believe you don't respect me and worries me how far you will go after I say no. I never once did this to a girl. But when I was a teenager my father would tell me to keep asking. And that no today doesn't mean no tomorrow. Big yikes. I'm so glad I never listened to this. I don't know if things were different back then. Or my dad being a jock type made people react to him differently. Or maybe he was just a mega creep and never caught on. Probably when he was a teen. That was the way the dance went. When I was a teen, girls were expected to say no at first. Maybe not to a date, but to anything extra. I'm glad that has changed. It wasn't healthy. Standing too close. Even without COVID, social distancing is a thing. Stay out of my personal space. Ugh. Yes. Once at this job fair I was talking to this dude from his company. They had these round standing tables and he was basically hip to hip with me. I swear. I have walked around half the room with him trying to create distance. A small lean backwards. A mini step to the side. Arm movement moving into a stretch where when you return to your original position you are just a little farther back than before. And then when you finally start to have some distance between you, zip. He is hip to hip again. Ugh. I was really interested in the company. But I found it so difficult to actually listen to his pitch. Because I was so busy maneuvering myself to have some personal space. Next year I explicitly only interacted with that booth when that guy was busy with someone else and I could talk to the very lovely lady instead. Information hunting. If you have a convo with a woman and she doesn't readily give you information about her like where she lives, her phone number, etc. That is not a challenge for you to go to her friends/stalk social media/etc. to get that information. This also applies to men. Obs. Unless there was a situation at a party where, I don't know, a woman said she wanted to give you her number but forgot by the end of the night. Undefined. If you have chemistry with someone you'll both want to get to know each other naturally through the conversation and follow up. Not so much by treating that person like a research article and doing everything you can to dig up information on them. Like adding someone as a friend on Facebook because they're a friend of a friend. Totally normal. Talking about a subject they've made a post about. Or an interest on their profile. Alright. Sliding into their DMs like, hey, we met at this random place and talked for maybe 5 minutes but I got your last name from a mutual friend and then googled you until I found your profile and other info and I see from a post you made 6 weeks ago that you saw this movie at the theater local to you, so how about I meet you there for a movie this weekend? I get that movies/TV shows have implied that people should be into the thrill of the chase or whatever. But if you're interested in someone you'll respect boundaries. Unless there was a situation at a party where, I don't know, a woman said she wanted to give you her number but forgot by the end of the night. Then it should be, hey, I was talking with so and so at the party and didn't get her number. Here's mine. Could you have her call me? That way the friend knows that he will only get the number if she reaches out to him. People shouldn't be giving out other people's numbers in general, and that should be stopped for any time someone is trying to get contact info. When a guy won't give up, he doesn't even have to be physically present. Being an adamant dick over text is enough to terrorize you sometimes. I'm dealing with it right now. I went on 1 great and 2 terrible dates with a man last fall. But there were too many red flags. So I broke it off. He took it poorly. Accused me of cheating. Basically confirmed my gut feeling that something was off. A few weeks later he started texting me random emojis to get my attention. I explicitly told him to stop and that I wasn't interested. He said it was an accident and said, "Does it look like I'm interested in you? Don't flatter yourself." Months of silence. Then a good morning text followed by a selfie of him doing his best model face. I blocked him, of course. But it terrifies me that I'm still on his mind even though he has no other way of contacting me. I made it a point to never give him my address.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.